What are last minute things that you forgot on your wedding day? Hello, wedding lovers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Angelina Cannon. If you're new here, I talk about wedding trends, wedding drama. I like to scroll through forums on Reddit about advice on wedding topics, such as what are last minute things that you may have forgotten on your wedding day and you would like to let other people know. So, I am going to read a couple things from Reddit on this post. The person who posted was throw 7790 away. They posted like a couple weeks ago. I think I got this recently. Graduated brides, what last minute things did you forget? She says, getting married in 2 weeks, and I've done a lot, but I feel like that I'm definitely forgetting something or things. Were there any things you realize you forgot last minute? Someone states that to tell your family members to sit in the front row. They forgot to tell them to do.
So again, here I go forgetting post. Like literally, I don't know what is with me in this. But anyways, Techie Cat 16 said, I forgot to tell our families to sit in the front row. I also thought it would have been common sense. The next person said, agreed. We ran into this with my brother's wedding, so I am telling them ahead of time, as well as creating a seating chart for the first two rows so my family knows where to sit. That's awesome. I agree. This is cool to have your family sitting in the front rows. I didn't have a seating chart for mine, but I had reserve signs. So, looking at my pictures, I didn't realize no one sat in the second row on one side. So it's completely LOL. We had parents sitting opposite us to see our faces during the ceremony, so maybe family wasn't sure which side to sit behind. A seating chart is a good idea. Definitely a seating chart is a good idea if you're worried about where your parents are going to end up sitting. The next person says, I'm also team opposite sides for family to see. Surprised it isn't more common. Yeah, wow, that's great. I think for my ceremony, we were facing tourists, so I don't think anyone saw our backs. Like the way we were, I'll post a picture for you guys to see, but I feel like nobody saw our backs. So this is when I go back into the next MK Grant 213. Back to the video.
So MK Grant 213 says, I think she meant I was on this team as well. I wanted my parents to be able to see my face, not the back of my dress during this ceremony. LOL. Baseball Diamond Girl 2 said, I told our officiant that there wasn't going to be sides because I don't have that much family or friends. I was shocked to see a ton of people sitting on the same side as my parents. It made me so happy. Let's Go Golfers says, we also didn't have anyone in our second row. So weird. BK Girl underscore via VSL says, I am an only child. I forgot to tell people to sit with my parents. The pics of just the two of them in the front just don't sit well with me, knowing their siblings, etc., are behind them. Wow. Funny. Same, but I also forgot to put reserve signs on the front row so we have friends in the front. Yikes. So, this is why I have reserve signs for my couples just in case they don't have reserve signs or the venue doesn't secure reserve signs. I always have them in my kit and always will have them. Even when you tell people, they'll forget. I wrote name cards for the seats for my families in my dress, aunties, uncles too. So I think she took I th- I think that she took name cards and then put them in her dress so that to remind them where to sit. But I'm not sure. That's just me. Somebody says know exactly where the scissors are. There are so many use cases for scissors. Tags to cut into boxes if you need them for decoration. Scissors always come in handy. Married 2 weeks ago, we had 4 pairs of mini scissors and somehow still wasn't enough scissors. Yikes. So somebody says, like my girl said, what are scissors for? So, clothing, price tags, loose strings unraveling from dresses, uneven hair extensions, or like that one string of hair that's made long that the hairstylist missed. Eyelash or eyelash extensions that are too long for your eyes, and clothing tape. So another person said different underscore tree underscore 9262 says stuff for detailed shots if you're doing them. Both sets of ring, fragrance if relevant, vows. This is why I like to have a list of photography settings or photography detailed shot list. I will have that linked below if you want to take a look. It's just super helpful just to get you started on the photos, type of photos that you would like to have. Yeah, so be prepared for those detailed shots. Make sure your photographer has it. I usually like to have the photographer have it a month in advance. Literally, I think the last wedding that I did, I gave the detailed list to my bride and groom. They did a couple finagling, their pictures that they wanted, and literally they got it done within maybe 3 months. The photographer had that list 3 months in advance. So it's good to be prepared. So different tree also says we were not super organized with tips. We had one big wad of cash. I had planned to put each tip in an envelope with vendor's name on it and give to our planner to disperse throughout the day. And that didn't happen. LOL. The cash wad felt very chaotic. LOL. Yes. So I usually like to tell my bride and groom that a week before the wedding, make sure you have your tips in an envelope. I did not take this case or I did not take this advice, my own advice on my wedding day. That's why I say, I think Jamie Wolfer says a week before, have the envelopes with the vendor's name on it and then put the tips in. However, don't give it to them until after the ceremony and give the tips to a trusted family member or your wedding planner or your wedding coordinator to give to the vendors after. Depends on what your wedding coordinator feels comfortable doing. The wedding coordinator may not take the tips. It may have to go to a family member. So just be aware of what our wedding coordinator or planner feel comfortable doing. So, me not taking my advice, I did the same thing. I had a lot of cash. I tried to go to the bank the day of my wedding, which was terrible. My bank account locked me out. I didn't have any money. I had to get money from my father in law to give to me so that I can get tips ready for Jay, my makeup artist, my videographer, like everyone. I felt so bad. I had to, the night of the wedding, Venmo. It wasn't Venmo. I think it was like it was GoDaddy, GoDaddy link for the tips for the waiters and waitresses who helped with the wedding, grab the food, serve the food. So be prepared. Be prepared. Have your envelopes a week before. On a related note, so this is Broadway Rose. And on a related note, if you're doing the detailed shots, don't then forget to make sure you have the rings before the ceremony. Literally, as everyone is lining up and going through the door, leaving just me waiting there, and my dad was kind of halfway to keep an eye on the timing, I shouted to anyone who could hear me, "We do have the rings right." And we definitely did not have my husband's ring because there was some sort of confusion after the photographer had taken photos for where it ended up. Luckily, my husband told our officiant when he got up to the front, and the officiant sneakily took off his ring to give to me to give to my husband until after the ceremony when we were able to find it. So don't forget the rings last minute and make sure the bridal party knows who's holding it. Yikes. Okay, yeah. Um, so always have somebody designated to those rings so that that doesn't happen because that is scary. Not having the rings and not knowing where they are. They will show up. Hopefully, they will show up. Efficient, good for saving the day. So, this so somebody is, responding to this and saying this, and make sure to keep the detailed shot stuff together and have a solid plan on how they are getting to your venue if you're traveling. I thought I had it covered, but somehow our vows were left back at the hotel. Didn't realize until our officiant asked for them as we were able to walk down the aisle, delayed our ceremony over 30 minutes trying to retrieve them. LOL. I always say put them in a book, get a cute book, put them in a book, and then have those vows or your maid of honor or best man or whatever you want to call them, best person, names that you prefer instead of traditional ones. Sister, she had best person, which I love that. She then have bridesmaids but bridesmaids. So yeah, had very different for everything, and it was so great. I loved the names. Her wedding was very unique. That's all I have for today. Below, you have these month guide, wedding party guide, have my bridal emergency kit, and also the tipping guides for your vendors. So, as always, stay tuned, stay subscribed, and ring that notification bell. Thank you.